statement that I think will go back to in future days. George W. Bush made the point that he will not distinguish between terrorists and those who harbour terrorists. And so, of course, countries like Libya, Syria, Iran, and, of course, Iraq as well, all will be very wary about what America will do next.
Yes, because as the grief turns to anger, the pressure from the American people on President Bush to act will be huge.
Overwhelming, John. There's no question of an attack. The only question is how and when the strike will take place. But let's remember how formidable this task is facing US intelligence and the intelligence communities. It tries to finger those responsible. They're looking at a non-conventional enemy, people and operatives who work between continents and who don't mind dying.
And just to interrupt, Robert, all of those of us who have been to Washington and seen this famous building, that is the Pentagon?
It is astonishing, isn't it? The very symbol of American military might, the very symbol of an American superpower reduced to rubble. And by what? By a plane turned into a weapon, possibly by hijackers using nothing more than knives. It just shows the area of vulnerability. And a point that I made last night was the comment it makes about the National Missile Defense System, to which billions of dollars are being devoted to. Of course, that would do nothing to prevent such an attack.
Against pen knives, exactly. And indeed, I also heard you say on our programs last night that that building we're looking at now, the famous five-sided Pentagon, there are more floors underneath the ground than there are above it.
Indeed it is.
And it's still being put out of action.
Yeah, I mean, they often talk about the Twin Towers being the largest office building in the world. In fact, it is the Pentagon. It is the largest single office building in the world. It's been attacked. So are the two symbols of American commerce in the heart of Lower Manhattan. It is just an attack of breathtaking audacity and planning. And as you say, the irony of it all is it may have been done by a few men willing to lose their lives with no more than pen knives.
Yes, we saw a picture just there of some workers in overalls, and on the back of one of them were the letters FBI. I would think anyone who works for the FBI or the CIA at the moment would be hanging their heads in shame. Why did they not know about this? It must have been months in the planning, involving 4 airliners. How can it have simply got through all America's intelligence systems?
There's really no answer to that. This is a catastrophic failure of intelligence that will rank, I think, far worse even than Pearl Harbor. If you think of the billions of dollars spent on highly specialized intelligence, we're not talking about here about human agents, we're talking about electronic intelligence, about eavesdropping, about satellite systems.